Hi everyone, welcome back to my garden. In this video, I'm going to harvest and divide succulent plants and show you how easy it is to turn a handful of plants into 100 plants. So now I'm going to take you over to my propagation barrel. I started dividing these yesterday and I said to myself, Liz, you need to turn your video camera on and show your viewers because somebody might take some value in this. I wish I would have learned this years ago. So now I want to share this experience with you so you can get more free plants for your garden too. So yesterday when I was out in my garden, I noticed how overgrown my succulent barrel was. See how overgrown this is? All these succulent plants start making tons of babies and it's just too crowded, and what happens is there'll be a lot of dried leaves and mealies, diseases. So what I'll do is I'll take each one of them out, separate them, and start all over again. It's quite a process, but it's worth it in the end, and then I'll actually have more plants to plant elsewhere in my garden. And believe it or not, but this Haworthia plant only started with one. Look at all the babies. So I'll definitely be dividing those today as well. And another thing, when they start getting crowded, they start to get a little deformed and they lose their open rose shape. See, that should be open, but it's not, so dividing them is definitely going to beautify them as well. See this big plant? All I have to do is pull this to the side and voila, I have a brand new plant. All I have to do is stick that in dirt, preferably cactus and succulent soil, and it'll grow beautifully, just like this one did that started out with one plant. So you see, I got 6 plants from the mama plant, and yes, I did trim off the roots a little bit just to stimulate new growth. Check out this mama plant. She had a lot of babies, and if you notice, some of them already have little roots on them. So all I have to do is cut these off, stick them in the dirt, and you guessed it, more plants. And in return, they'll make little babies as well. Okay, so they're all trimmed up and ready to plant. This mama plant needs 4 babies. Don't you just love saving money in the garden? And the same goes for this succulent. All I have to do is snip off the ends, or I can just take a little baby off of the stem, and there's a new plant. And if you notice, some of these already have roots, so they want to get put in the ground. And the same thing goes for my string of bananas. I can just rip a piece off from the mother plant and then place it under a stone, and the whole process will begin again. Pretty soon I'll have another waterfall of new healthy string of bananas. Let me show you how amazing God is. Look at all the roots already developing on this plant. This was just one branch. Now if I were to stick that in the ground, I would have a whole bunch of new plants growing from this one stem. But of course I'm gonna separate them and make individual little plants. But isn't that just amazing? They're already rooting and wanting to be on their own. More plants for my garden for free, yay! And here's all the plants I ended up with. I have a whole box full of new plants for my garden. There's almost 2 layers of plants in there. Isn't that incredible? And it didn't cost me anything. Quick little tip, after you cut off your succulent piece, it's very important that this raw end has a chance to dry out or scab over before you water it. If you water it right after you cut it, it could get moldy and mushy and it'll probably die. You can either just put it in a container or on top of your table and let it dry out naturally. It usually takes a few days for the end to get hard. Or you can pop it in a container filled with dry soil or in the ground as long as the dirt is dry. then it has a chance to dry out before you water it. Once your plant has a chance to scab over, like I said, just a few days, it'll start forming roots. See all the roots on this baby plant? Yep, I just cut this off from a mother plant. Now I can go ahead and water it. Ta-da! And yes, it really is that easy. Now make sure you don't water your succulents for a couple of weeks unless the little pieces already have established roots. I got all these plants for free. This did not cost me a dime. And all these succulents will make more babies, and then I can divide those next year and plant them somewhere else in my garden. Now the reason why I didn't put too many down there on the ground is because my string of bananas, that's gonna all trail down and look like a beautiful waterfall. Succulents require well-draining soil with larger particles so water can enter quickly and drain away from the roots without compacting the soil. If you don't have sandy soil like mine, you can use regular soil as long as you mix it with pumice or perlite. The succulent and cactus soil they sell at the nurseries work best. Well, I hope this video encourages you to grow succulents in your garden too. Thanks for watching.